Hello everybody, how are you doing? This is Alexander Turnbull, another big wig show, and I am in my kitchen, favourite room in the house, and I've got a special guest today, a very special guest indeed, a guy called Daniel Granger, who is probably, excuse me while I just get set up, known as probably the biggest heartthrob in the hairdressing industry. I think I'm going to get him to join us now. So I'm going live, Mr. Daniel Granger. Hope to join us soon. So before he comes on, today I'm going to go through a couple of different wigs, and you know, me and Daniel have been best friends for some time now.
Hello, brother.
How are you, Mr. Granger?
I'm fantastic. How are you, sir? Good to see your face. Good to see your face. How are you?
Yeah, very good, very good. I was just describing you as
I heard. I thought, like, just as I get on, you're going to make me go red. Thanks a lot, my friend.
Yeah, well, you know you wouldn't get away scot-free with me. So we've got a lot of people tuning in and waving, so let's have a few waves back.
We've got Neil, we've got Brent Brown, we've got loads of guys there. Loads of my pals. They're all joining in now.
Well, one of my team members, a girl called Beth Bowers,
hey Neil,
whip woo about you. People say what an amazing guy you are. So
I'm also good at hair. Thanks.
Yeah. Well, that's
no.
why you're here.
We did it with pure skill. I'll tell you, some of these things, you dare. I've got to tell you guys a story. Just sorry to interrupt you, but I remember once saying, Alex said, how did you do that? And I literally went up to him and I went, with pure skill. And he never let it go. Pure skill.
You're actually in my phone as pure skill Daniel Granger. So listen, mate, I just want to give people a little bit of an outlook on who you are and how our relationship has blossomed as stylists. And so why don't you tell our viewers how we met?
How we met. I mean, the day we met was like one of the most terrifying days of my life. So myself and Alex and I, we met on Great British Hairdresser, which was filmed in 2008. That's a good decade ago. Like, no, it was 2008. It was filmed, came out in, God, that's 12 years ago. 12 years ago. I just had that. So anyway, and we got through to the finals. Now, Alexander was up in Manchester finals, and I was from the London finals where we queued up with 2,000 people.
Mate, I was in London as well.
No, you was in London, wasn't you? Yes, because that's where we started the journey, didn't we?
Yeah.
You didn't come from the north. That's what I'm getting mistaken. And then we all stood there and we all kind of joined up. There was 10 people from London, 10 people from Manchester, all stood in a row. There was smoke coming out the floor. We were in one of these big filming hangars. There's 20 mirrors down this side, 20 mirrors down this side, loads of girls in there as well, and they're all holding this little box. And we all queued up, and then they said, right, 3, 2, 1, go get your model. Well, Alexander straight away just went model 1. I stood there in freeze mode and went, so I had the last model left. And then I stood over there, and that's the first time I've ever witnessed somebody being an amazing hairdresser like that, and that was Alexander Turnbull, because my wig was terrible. Like, I had this like whole wig on, and I cut a fringe like this, and I curled it, but I still got through. But our relationship really blossomed on that show. Like, we both got through to the finals. We both became roommates, and there was something that Alexander about you, mate, that I'll cherish forever, and that was we're in this till the end. You know, me and you as a brotherhood were there. So when I was finding it difficult, because Alexander had years of more experience in the kind of like artist of photographic world, working with wigs, working with session hair, and I was just still kind of finding my feet. You know, I was a salon owner, young salon owner, still trying to find my feet, but give this TV show a go. And I wouldn't have got as far as I did without Alexander's help. I mean,
mate,
how long did we, how long? I have to say it, man, because we had this adventure, didn't we? Where, you know, we went from salon owners to then I witnessed, the first time I ever witnessed a Great British Hairdresser event, British Hairdresser of the Year, Northeastern. I was on your table, and the love and passion you had for the career was really infectious. And I went, that's what I'm going to do. And so that was probably a turning point in my career, was meeting you. and the bond that we've had along the way. And I've invited you onto the TV shows that we've done, and vice versa. We've kind of bounced off each other for, we've not really had. It's like we're sharing a couple of people. We like to give, we like to educate, and the passion between two salon owners been amazing. And now we're both into wigs. Like,
mate.
how did that happen? I mean, how did that happen for you?
Well,
Why did you?
I mean, for me, Dan, it started with. I mean, obviously on that TV show, the challenge was to take a wig from nothing and to turn it into something. And I must admit, I had a big smile on my face because I'd already been a wig designer and specialist for quite some time. So I kind of thought, you know what, if there's one thing I've got, it's that one. But mate, I mean, when I first won the British Hairdressing Awards, I was 19 years old, still the youngest ever winner at that stage. And one of my looks was actually a wig, and it was a René of Paris wig that I actually cut with a Bic razor blade. I'd never known how to cut a wig before, never done anything like that.
One of them, you just got one of them outside.
I did it into a Farrah Fawcett, and it looked pretty cool, to be fair, mate. It looked pretty cool, and I won anyway, so that was pretty good. But then, as time evolved, I didn't want to be the hairdresser that turned somebody away when a bald patch turned into alopecia. And I didn't want to be the hairdresser that a client of mine that I'd done since being, 15 years old came in and suddenly gave me the horrible news that she was going through chemotherapy, and then to say, well, see you later. I couldn't be that guy. And obviously I know from some of our chats in the past that didn't work for you either. And you evolved your salon and obviously do wigs from there. I mean, from that show, I mean, obviously I went on to do Extreme Hair Wars, which was crazy. It was a bit of fun, but then I channeled my energy very much into wigs, bringing out my wig range, going into of wigs and the understanding of.
I knew you were doing something great. Okay, so I knew, obviously, there's times where we don't speak, and I was kind of hearing these little things, seeing little captions, and then through my door at the salon turns up the Alexander range. I mean, can you imagine when I open that and I'm going, that's my mates. Look. They were going, why are you so fascinated? But such an honor to have that and have your input into the wig business, into that, array of. I mean, I love wigs. I love men's hair pieces. I've got really into those. So when I was filming Body Fixers, so I did a show called Body Fixers. Some of you guys probably haven't watched it, but you can catch it on E4. Catch up.
Dan, just to stop you there, just because a lot of our viewers will be in the States as well. Can you just explain what Body Fixers will be for the guys sure. And how they could see that? Because mate, listen, you've been such a massive part of my life, and then as proud as you were to see my wig range, to see you on Body Fixers was amazing, dude.
It's weird, isn't it? It's strange, It's like one thing just rolls into another, and I'm a great believer in power of perception, and what you put out there, you will receive. And the more hard work you put in, you put yourself in the limelight. You keep putting yourself there, and somebody may open the door for you, and that's what happened there. But Body Fixers, what it was I still had to audition like anybody else, and actually I was well above the age range of what they were looking for. But when they kind of met me and they met how I could sell myself, put myself with confidence, and really on TV, they're not looking for somebody with a matter of skill. What they're looking for is somebody that's going to present them well, and then they hope they've got skill. That's the difference between us. So I kind of had to sell myself as well as, I'm skilled, I've got this, and they're kind of seeing my reputation on what I can do. But some of the stuff that I did on that show, I'd never done before. But with the knowledge that I'd gathered with using wigs on my shoots, and then integrating that into the salon with René Paris, and bringing that in for my customers to kind of take advantage of, not only in, the medical world, but the fashion world as well. It kind of just took off for me. So I have a few secret celebrity clients that like to kind of change their look a few times. But on Body Fixers is about people coming in and they've got problems, whether let me take for instance, if you don't mind. Her name was Paris. And Parish was a young girl, 23 years old, just had a baby. And she came in with this kind of rugged look about her. And I was like, I can tell that's a wig. that's what people like, the stigma of, I can tell that's what, like, and they're looking, I can tell that's a wig. And my wigs never look like wigs. And that's why I always buy the highest quality. You have to go for the highest quality. One, for longevity, you know, the color fade, the hand stitch, the fabric that it sits on, you know, the base that it's made out of, you know, the monofilament, the netting, the lace, everything has to be high spec. And that's why René Paris kind of came into working with body fixers, because I needed film quality hair instant like that. And that's when I could just get it out of the box and kind of, you know, just have my tools available. Because this girl came in and her story was really sad. I mean, it broke my heart. Like, we're sitting next to her, I'm looking at her and she's going, yeah. And she took this kind of wig off that she bought for £50 on eBay. You know, you could tell it was synthetic. It was matting. It didn't look right. It didn't shift right. It was lumpy. And she pulled it off and she was completely bald with a few strands of hair. And she said one day, she said, you know, when you have a nightmare and your teeth fall out or your nails fall out or your hair falls out? Well, that wasn't a nightmare. I woke up like that. And I just see my hair on the pillow. And I looked in the mirror and I was putting my hands through it and I was trying to slap myself to wake myself up.
Yeah.
And do you know what? That story for me is that's so common and it's so out there. You know, there is a lot of this, you know, out there. And now I just help people within the medical industry and the fashion, because, you know, the fashion world is, some people like to hide behind their masks. And they may not like what the hair they've got. You know, they might have like just a fine hair, keep it short. But now and again, they just want to feel glamorous again. And your hair is so important. So being able to pick it up off a stand, pop it on, and just feel amazing. I mean, even down from like the cross-dressing, you know, kind of community, trans, you know, gender and all that. They love their wigs. And I love anybody who likes to put a wig. I even like putting a wig on. Don't tell me you don't put your own wigs on when you get them out of the box. You kind of sit in the mirror going, I look all right. I dance around the salon in them. I wouldn't tell the clients that. But, you know, and that's what I liked. And do you know what I really liked about your range? I've got to say this, because I haven't said this to you yet, is that it's the first time I've opened the catalogue and gone, now that fits. Do you know what I mean? That's how it should be shot. That's how they should be look. That's what the girls wearing them should be. Because when anybody else looks for a catalogue that I've seen many of, they go, yeah, they just look like wigs. Whereas yours don't look like wigs. They look like they're meant to be. I think the thing for me, Dan, and you quite touched on it, and that's a really kind thing to say, is, you know, we've got so many good ranges and amazing ranges within René Paris. And with mine, I kind of wanted to put, you know, a bit of my British Hairdressing Award winning kind of things and the shoots I've done and all that kind of stuff, and put it into a range of wigs. But, you know, whether it be somebody that's 18 or 80, people still deserve to feel great and feel feminine and feel gorgeous. And I think you hit the nail on the head when you said that you had that girl that came on the show and you could tell it was a wig. Now a big thing when I ran the you know, the hair loss clinic and stuff, and people would come in and say, right, well, you know, does it look like a wig? What if it looks like a wig? I can spot a wig a mile off. And we've all seen the wigs that we can spot, and then we think that we're wig specialists. But how many hundreds and thousands of wigs have walked past you and you've never known? That's the stuff that I want to do in my range, and that's the stuff that we do at René Paris, whether it be synthetic, whether it be human hair, whether it be you know, a heat-friendly fibre. The idea is that it works. I mean, I've had a question here. Go on then. How are you seeing your questions, bro? Oh, Paul Faltrick.
Are we both wearing wigs now, Paul?
Paul. Like, don't say anything. But you know, we're about the same age, and we've kept our hair, Paul.
Yeah. Oh, that's
Faltrick.
Nice. Somebody's just said Alex Turnbull is the best in the business. Thank you very much. We've had a lot of mentions about Body Fixers, Dan. What an amazing show it is, and what a great job you did. So that's a massive testament to you, and to all the stuff that you do. And it's, you know, it's a pleasure to see. So, I mean, just as a from a stylist point of view and a TV celebrity and all the things that you are, how does using a wig on a TV show, how is that different to then what you do in the salon? Just walk me through a day in the life of you going into the TV show, using a wig, and then taking those skills back to the salon? How does that look?
Well, from the TV show, I learned a lot of things. I mean, it was the first time I ever did a men's hairpiece, and I fell in love with it. It's the reaction you got. And I know the reaction of the TV show was a bit produced, and it was probably late at night, and we dressed out the wigs, and then we slide back the mirror. It was at that moment I fell in love with helping people, because we've helped people for decades feel better about themselves. But when you truly tap into somebody that's emotionally traumatized by losing their hair and give their confidence back with security, and it's fitted nice, you've taken the care, and they can feel like it's being hand cut on their head, that was a winning formula for me. And I took that back into the salon 100%. And I actually opened my own private room. And I know you had a private room, especially then. And it's like taking them down, giving them the confidence, giving the experience, and they're talking to them. Yeah. And a lot of it is their mental attitude of, you know, preparing themselves to wear a wig for the first time, or whatever's happening to them in a medical kind of ground. And do you know what? Financially, a lot of the time, I have empathy for these, you know, for these guys coming in, and I always do them a good deal, but that I take time about it, and I start enjoying the client process again, you know, and taking them through the consultation, showing them the different bases, showing them the different looks. And then it's like, you know, they come down, we offer them a glass of wine, and we have all the girls laid out. I call them my girls. And then we walk through them, we try them all on, and you see the character in the person just after one wig pick up, because you know the wig they're going to choose. You know deep down which one they're going to like just from the consultation, and you line them up, and you know you saved that one till last. And they're going through and they're trying them on, and they turn into different people. They forget their illness. They forget that they don't have hair. They forget the person they've become, and they remember the person they are. And that's so beautiful. And do you know what? That's worth its weight in gold. So to have that experience, and I don't do a lot of them, you know, I don't do a massive amount. I do probably kind of like 6 a month, something like that. And I take my extra time with them as well. But from the process of ordering to buying to returning and everything else, René Paris have really nailed it for me. And their variety, their variety. And when they turn up, there's no faults with them. That's what I like. They've been checked. Yeah. You know, we've worked in previous bands that, you know, there was the previous brands that they'd turn up and they just weren't quite right. Whereas you guaranteed it from there. That's why René Paris.
I mean, that's the thing. It's attention to detail, and whether it be something that's, you know, like my range is pretty much ready to wear. I mean, I do teach hairdressers how to cut and shape and all the rest of it, but you can pretty much wear it's out the box, or we've got the human hair that you'd think. It pretty much is kind of, it's all about opening that box, it being something special, it feeling luxurious, just like if you're buying a high-class shampoo, or a girl's going out and buying a new dress or a bag, you know, that it's got to be a process which you enjoy. You know, you enjoy. I've got to say this, mate, because this is cracking me up. We've had somebody called Lisa said, anyone else agreed that Daniel's smile is so infectious, or is it just me? No, I think his smile is infectious as well. We've got somebody else saying that they'd like to they're loving this, guys. So thank you for joining in.
Justin here, he wants to get into wigs now, guys. Obviously Alexander's over in LA now.
Well, I'm actually back in England at the moment, mate. Yeah,
I know that, but you're pretty much after this situation kind of finishes off, you're living in LA and specializing, and that's what you're doing now. This is your journey. Your next part is giving back.
That's right, mate. Yeah,
that's mad. That's mad.
You'll have to come. You'll have to come surfing with me.
I can't surf, bro, but I'll have a go. But these guys, you know, they're saying to us they want to get into it. Now, how does somebody find the love of getting into wigs in their salon? Let's say they work for a salon, okay? So they work for a salon owner. They don't do wigs, but this young chap sees something there and sees a gap in the market. How would you suggest, Alex, that they get in touch with, you know, René Paris and start building a relationship with the suppliers?
Well, I mean, look, obviously in the UK we're in so many countries. You know, René Paris is a multinational brand. So, you know, for instance, if I was in the States and somebody wanted to get into it, we have something on our website that would be, you know, be a supplier. I know in the UK that you would call Trenco and you would speak to them about an account and stuff, but the question of you want to get into wigs, the big thing is to kind of put yourself out there, realize what your target market is. If you want to help people with hair loss related illness, you know, speak to the oncology nurses, say, look, I want to put myself out there, go and do a talk there, suss it out, go onto our YouTube channel. You know, for any of you hairdressers, and could I have a big show of hearts hairdressers out there, please? Just so
yeah, how many hairdressers are watching right now? We've just got Mr. Eaton.
Oh my word!
Joined
British
us.
Hairdresser of the Year.
British Hairdresser of the Year has just joined us. He's a good friend of ours, both of ours. He's the most humblest guy.
Hi
ever.
guys, are you both well? We're very well, thanks, mate.
Good. Now he's another wig expert. He went into this. He actually studied trichology.
Yeah,
like,
me too, mate. Me too.
You studied that as well. So
yeah.
I've got to do this then. I mean, okay, so that's part of this. Yeah. So I've got good at wigs. I'm always looking to what can I do to better myself. You know, I never want to sit still. So adding wigs to my portfolio, that was just another one. You know, that's just another upskill. So doing a trichology course, do you think that helped you within being able to offer advice and wigs, if it was a wig they needed, or was it, you know, maybe a hair system they needed, or, you know, maybe masking or treatment, or array of them all whilst it was going on? Did it help you a lot more understand that medical side?
Look, from a point of view and a standpoint of, I could look and say, right, I think this is this. I think this may be this. You know, maybe you need to speak to the dermatologist. It didn't stop me I didn't do loads more wig work because of it. I just had a greater understanding for myself, which is what I needed. So, I mean, to follow up on the first question, if you want to get into wigs, put yourself out there, you know, ask about being a supplier. You don't, there are things where we're going to teach people how to cut them. But, you know, for instance, I've got one here, which I was going to show you because I know you want some things for the next TV show.
Yes, I do.
This is one of mine, right?
Yeah.
Now, this is Susan in Champagne R. So champagne is kind of the colour, the R is for the root. That is
it's got a root on it.
That's as it came out the box, right? So if you want to get into wigs, you can literally get these out the box, ready to wear, ready to go, and you can look after people from there. You know, no two ways about it. That is how it could go. You could get the wigs, take a bit of weight out, and do what you need to do if you're a trained professional. Trichology helped me in many ways just understand a little bit more of what's going on. But, you know, not a lot of people know this, but René of Paris, we actually are affiliated with Bosley Professional Hair and Scalps, and that is a trichology range about the scalp, about the health of the scalp, and that is worth looking into. So, guys out there, hairdressers, please follow us at reneofparis.com. If you are some of Daniel's followers, follow us. You can follow me, Alexander J. Turnbull. You can direct message us at René of Paris, or message me, and we'll guide you through. But there is so many different things.
Let's get on to some of their questions, brother, because I can see that they're flying through. I have never had so many questions, guys. Let's just go back to one that I just saw a minute ago. It's Zach Fennell. Zach Fennell, great British hairdresser, one of our guys that was on there as well. I know Charlotte's watching as well, so she's on there. But he loves your Susan. He loves Susan. I love Susan. And now we've got a question here. I'm going to ask it to you. Can I ask, if someone has psoriasis, how does that affect them if they want a permanent wig? So that's the thing that has come up. How do you wear wigs if you have a scalp condition? So what would you recommend for that, Alex?
Well, I mean, look, at the end of the day, there is psoriasis and there's psoriasis, and there's very, very, you know, severe angles to that. So I don't want to give out some advice that might be wrong. You'd have to speak to your dermatologist, and you'd have to speak to your doctor on that, because you don't want anything that's going to aggravate the skin. That is, you know, that is a thing. Some psoriasis goes, and even using the Bosley, You
I'm
know,
scratching my
people
head down.
got rid of the psoriasis with
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
So please speak to your doctor and do all that, because one case is not the same as them all.
Yeah.
Zach Fennell has asked if mine is a wig, and no, it's not. But you know what, Zach? If the day comes, I'll tell you, and I'll wear one. Sherry,
Zach.
is a topper better for thinning hair or a wig? It depends where it's thinning. It depends what kind of topper it is. You know, there are half wigs that you can wear underneath that can fill it out. There are things on the top. If it was thin but the hair's not damaged at the root, then possibly. But again, go to the wig shops, go to the professionals, find somebody out there that you can, like when you go to Dan's, you can sit in the private room, be sat down and actually spoken to like a human being, you know?
Yeah.
And,
Yeah. I mean, I just had a case, young girl, she's 18 years old. I say a case, I don't want to call it a case. It's not a case. I had a client, and she had partial alopecia. So she had 50% of her hair left, but she had really big patches like this. Now I had a choice. I had two choices. I could kind of talk her into, you know, having like little partial pieces made and then bespokely kind of grafting those in that you'd take in and out. But what I kind of thought, for a girl her age, she just needs to feel confident like that. And these little hair pieces that she's like tucking in, and people find a way of masking the truth. But with these wigs, when I put them on her, she just lit up. I actually put it on my Instagram where she swung her head back with confidence. She swung it back. Now, there's so many ways to fit a wig as well. That's what people need to know. How to secure it firmly. Got my words mixed up there. Secure the wig firmly. That's with wig tapes. That's with you know, there's little kind of releases, everything like that, little bands, tighteners, grips, the whole thing going. But then understanding how a wig is made as well, and how you want it to kind of feel like a natural feel. So learning on about how it's sewn, whether the knots are bleached, all of this thing, get as much information. The more you know about it, the confidence in wigs comes. So it's even like, you know, doing my men's pieces. Now they're difficult. Do you know, when you're kind of like shaping that out precisionally and getting that in? But that transformation is incredible. That one there. That's why they're saying, have we got it? Because we've got so much hair, even though we're two old men now. But that's what I mean.
You're looking better than me, mate.
We're just throwing the compliments out at each other now, bro. We love it. That's what we like, though.
Like old times, mate. Listen, I've got a question, right? And one of the questions is, how do you encourage clients to come in for a wig, right? So that's an interesting one, right? I mean, I did leaflet drops, saying I had a private room, you know, free consultations. At the end of the day, you know, we're there to help. Sit down with somebody, sit on the same level. Don't have a consultation, be stood over somebody. I mean, I'm 6 foot and I'm quite a big lad. So for me to stand over someone is quite, you know, it's quite intimidating.
I know exactly what you're saying. Another point of that is, what would the client experience be? What would your client's experience be? Okay, she's lost her hair, or she's, you know, finding herself a treatment, or she's just looking for something for fashion. Now, what they tend to do is looking for fashion, they tend to go to the internet. Okay, but they'll go to a wider range of search, and they'll search particular, you know, like eBay, stuff like that, and Amazon. They'll search through that. But if you're in their search engine straight away, so put it on your website. That's your front door. Advertise it on your Instagram. Advertise it on all your social media channels that you are doing this and you're passionate about that. What you put out, you will receive. So if somebody wants to kind of integrate a new service, get so madly behind it, get so crazy about it, that people will just automatically be driven to you. And obviously they're offered this through the NHS. You know, NHS offer a basic, you know, this kind of like NHS range through there. And a lot of people don't want to go to that because it's the word basic, you know, oh, it's just through the NHS. People want to be treated like princesses. You know, they want to feel that experience, and that's why they want to come to you, but they don't know you're there until you put it out there, guys, and keep putting it out there. And that's why I'm so busy with them. And I do make good money from them, guys. You know, I do make good money. I do end up giving a lot of it back. Because, you know, some people that come to me, they want the leisure, they want the luxury. They just haven't, you know, they could not quite afford it. So, you know, sometimes I work for free. And I know I shouldn't do that. But when they're sat in front of you, you tell me now.
Dan, do you know what? That's a personal choice, isn't it? And I think we all give whether it's working for less money, whether it's the time we put in, whether it's styling something throughout the night. You know, we put our heart and soul into it because we care. I mean, funny you say about the NHS. For all my friends in the States there, that's the National Health Service. But over in the States, we do something different. You can tell I live there now because I'm saying we, you know, we do something different, but it varies on state to state. But, you know, like your health insurance providers, they can give you like, you know, a receipt towards it. And it varies state to state and health providers and stuff like that. But what I would say, obviously, for anybody out there, go to the wig shop, find out. They will have the information on their state to state. But you know, I don't think anyone becomes a hairdresser immediately just to get rich. I think they do it because they love it. And I don't then think the next thing is that a hairdresser goes into wigs just because they want to make loads of cash. Do you know what? If you make some money, but you are doing the right thing, then that's what it's about.
Yeah.
And that's how we thought at René Paris. We are the total hair solutions brand.
Yeah.
We're there to look after people. Aderans, which is our big brand. We're affiliated with Hair Club, which is all about the guys. We own that and stuff. So we do everything from men's hair pieces to women, but it's all about the client first. And that's
yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I do. I mean, I have a few celebrities that you wouldn't know that wear wigs. I'm not going to say who they are, but
well, if you did, you probably wouldn't have them again.
I know. Can you imagine? And I'm always kind of looking at so who's looking after the girls, and you know, and they send them back for repairs, and they send it, and they love the experience. It's really, really quite nice. And also, you know, working in the film industry, doing wigs for film industry, that was a big eye opener. That one there, you know, so I had the chance to help out on the Game of Thrones and just kind of be behind the scenes with those guys that worked on that series for like 10 years. Do you know what I mean? That's what they did, looked after those people for all that long. And when I watched the documentary back, I was just like, wow, man, that was a lot of work, you know, producing these wigs and making these wigs. And that's a massive part of that film. You know, wigs are a big part of our lives, and they're getting bigger and bigger. The wig business is growing. It's no longer under shadows. It's out there. You know, you've got every celebrity wearing it. You've got people on, you know, these kind of reality TV shows. And it's been a big part of the Afro-Caribbean industry for many, many years, more so than it is. And they're quite, they love it. You go into my friend's house and she's got 16 of them lined up in a row, all tended for, all cared for, like she's going to pick up a dress that day. And whichever one she wears, so, you know, whichever one she has a little character for each one, and she wears that character out. So on a night, depending on her mood, she'll select one of the high fashion range, and she'll go, I'm that girl today. And I love that. And she comes out with this personality with it as well. Yeah. It's incredible. It's incredible.
Well, I mean, it's funny you say that, Dan. I know that you know my wife, Emma, quite well, and you've spent some good time with the pair of us. But, you know, Emma was out not long back, and I did her a wig, and she suddenly took on this whole new persona. And lots of people do if they change the colour, a new personality comes out.
Any questions we've got on there? Here's one that I wanted to kind of just touch base on. This one is where they talk about what are your suggestions for consults with children for wigs? Would you suggest meeting privately with their parents first, doing it together? What is a good age to introduce wigs to children? Well, there is no good age. For a child to go through that experience and their parents to watch it, there's something really wrong. And it's really kind of like, it breaks your heart no matter how much you think you're brave and you think you're going to help this child. When that child comes in and they don't have an idea of the world or how the world's going to look at them as a born child, and they're going to think there's something wrong with them. Mm. And I had this story, and I want to tell you this story. It's a sad story, but I had this girl come in, and she was lovely. She was like 7 years old. Madeline, her name was. And she came in, and she had this beautiful hair down here. And she said to me, she said, I said, why do you want to do this? Cut your hair off. And she went, I want to make another child happy. And I was just like, you're incredible. So we filmed the whole event. She gave her a lovely little bob, and she ended up being in the newspaper. And that was great. Yeah. You know, they give it to Little Princess's Trust. A year later, she died from cancer, and she lost her hair. This little girl, and it was like, I didn't get that. I didn't get that, and they called me up, and the bravery that you have. Okay, so we accept it's part of our lives, that medical condition, and we give back. But you wait until you got a child that you're trying to do that for, and I've got 3 lovely, beautiful kids of my own. But that left me with a story of like, she really helped someone, and she didn't know she was dying. She gave her hair up to help someone with her wig. It was an amazing thing. So what we can do for people, what we can bring back, what we can give life back to someone's soul through the power of hairdressing, through the power of making them feel good. We've got one of the best jobs in the world. And it's companies like the company you're working for, and you bringing out those ranges that, like, someone's wearing your wig out there now, feeling freaking amazing.
Yeah. Thanks, Dan. And you know, I mean, just on the flip side of the thing, I mean, I've done something very similar, like with, you know, looking after kids and when they've donated their hair and stuff. And I mean, I've tried to turn it on its head a little bit, because we have a range of wigs called Amore, and Amore are very soft. Yeah, Amore, they're beautiful.
Amore Vinta Damnia. Amore means love in Italy.
Thank you very much, Daniel, for the
I love it.
for that. And in the Amore range, mate, we've got some amazing kids wigs in there, and a lot of them are really, really fun. My little daughter Amber, she's the cheekiest, naughtiest little creature ever, right? And she has one of these wigs, but she has it for dress up, right? So it's like, it's no more of the stigma towards it, and you know, I think it hits us harder as adults and parents to see kids like that. But kids just put them on and just have a bit of fun. And you know, I mean, I've got some wigs here to show you, actually, because I know you've got a question for me, and I've got a feeling what it is.
I thought I'd save it. Whenever I go on this TV show, I need people to sponsor me and give me a wardrobe of products that I need to give away to my clients. Would you send me some of your wigs? I need some of your human hair. Yeah? So the highest end wigs that you have got. What have you got for me?
Oh,
have you got any there that you can show me?
Yeah, I've got some stuff here, right? And I'll tell you what I can do, right? We'll talk about the finances. Remember, I'm a Yorkshireman at heart. I might live in LA, but I'm a Yorkshireman,
dude,
right?
I'm going to put them all over TV, and you're going to make someone feel amazing. I know you want to give me them. And
so look, let's have a quick chat. So I've got something here. This Susan, which could look great. This comes in loads of different colours. This is synthetic. This one of mine.
What base is that on? Because I'm really interested on the comfort base. You know, what kind of base do they sit on?
That one is machine made, so it's actually, so it actually doesn't have the monofilament, but because it's got a lot of volume, it doesn't necessarily need it. So you know, it's quite forgiving on the price, even though it looks amazing.
Yeah, because it's the time they take. So some of the human hair wigs, how long would you say a human hair wig takes to hand stitch?
Dan, a lot of time.
I couldn't imagine doing it. I'm glad someone else does that.
Yeah, depending on who's putting it together. But I've got this one, which I know is up your street.
I love that. Absolutely love that. Is that one of yours?
No, this is from the Orchid range. Look,
that's from the Orchid.
Orchid range.
Orchid Collection.
This is Envious in Royal Emerald, which is just...
People are just going to... What sort of price will someone pay for one of those there?
Well, they vary country to country, mate. They vary different, but this is not mega money. You know, this is not mega money. Go online, look at the suppliers, look at the wig shops, whether you're in the States or whatever. But, you know, these two, you know, you can pick up and get rocking and rolling very quickly. Out the box, lovely. I like that.
Yeah, love that.
But high-end human hair.
Yes.
Okay.
That's what I love to deal with. I love to be able to change it if I need to. Wow. Look at the shine on her.
So I've just been styling this. So if Mr. Eaton is still on there, he'll tell you this is a trick from shoots and what have you. So just putting that on to get rid of the marks there. I can brush that out a little bit. So I've just had this sat with the tissue on and the clips. Now this is fair fashion. So this
fair
is
fashion, yeah. I'm learning these. I'm really into what I do is I pick a range, I study that range and the why about that range.
Yeah.
Because everybody has a different budget Everybody has a different kind of need or must, whether it is the fashion world and whether they do want it to have longevity, whether they're going to wear it every day, whether they're going to wear it just partially, are they going to want to wear it around the house to feel confident? So many things that you can kind of educate. That's a beautiful Marcel wave just there, bro.
Now, well, I was just styling this before I went on with you because I was just styling it for a little educational video. So this literally came from the States, out the box. These are Italian, European. It's all European hair.
Yeah, light. So it's got that lightness to it as well, hasn't it? Yeah.
Exactly, Dan. Exactly. But this is Dominique from Fair Fashion.
Dominique, I'm going to write that down. That's lovely. The colour's nice. Colour's really nice.
Mate, this colour, I know a lot of people out there know I'm a colourist. I've not coloured this. This is out the box.
That's literally as it comes. And they're coming like that now. I see it's getting so good, isn't it? It's so good. And
that can be styled loads of different ways. Now, I'm just going to... so anyway, let's have a chat for the new TV show about
That's the sort of thing... No, I want that one. You can send me that one, bro. Mate, I could literally pick that out and just put that on somebody. I mean, how about that? You know, instant,
I'll tell you what,
like
then,
that.
Considering I styled it, you can put me in the credits.
Okay. I'm not allowed to talk about it either, but yeah, go
on. I've just had a message saying, well, actually, I have a message from my lovely little wife who's in the house, and she has messaged me and said you've both got a lot of questions to answer. So before we wrap this up and I bid you a good night, should we both answer some questions, my mate?
We've got 17 minutes left of this 1 hour. If you want to go for it, guys, hit me up with some questions. Hit Alex up with some questions and who you want to answer it. So go back through. I'll scan back with you guys because I've got so many of my mates on here. Evie, how you doing, Evie? Not there's Ben Knotts. Loads of guys on here that we know. There's Neil. Hiya, Neil. Right, so. And then we've got Adam. Right, let's have a look. Justin's online.
Well, let me fire one to you. Someone's asked if you can sing Ollie Murs.
Ollie Murs, yeah. Which track do you want?
I think we'll avoid the singing tonight, mate. I've heard your singing.
Oh, no, you know I love a good sing song. I'm the worst singer in the world, but I do not care. I'll sing like nobody's listening. Like I dance like nobody's watching.
Right, okay, so... where did the name René of Paris come from? Well, René of Paris, René, who was a French guy, he developed René of Paris. He brought the beautiful wig range out, and René of Paris was bought out as a brand from Aderans. There's a big story on our website of all that. Can you cut bangs into a wavy style? Well, for all you English guys out there, bangs are fringes. I'll just answer that one quickly. Yeah, you can, but you know, bear in mind if you pull it straight, it's got a curl into it. Always cut it longer because if it bounces up to here, it's going to stick out to here.
Yeah, and always, and when you're doing a fringe, I find when I'm cutting a fringe on a wig, one thing I have to make sure is it's really in the right position. Like there's no room for error. Make sure it's fitted perfectly, symmetrically to the head shape. Symmetrically to her face as well, and sitting, you know, where it would naturally feel. Because if it's slightly longer or lower and you cut that fringe in, when she sits it back, she's gonna look like, you know, she's coming out like a Lloyd Christmas. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So I've got another question. Somebody wants to see the inside of the cap of this this beautiful wig. So Dan,
as you get that out, I'm going to talk about that because what I learned, and I needed to learn about the inside of caps and the comfort of them and what they mean. So, you know, literally like what kind of Swiss or French lace is inside, that is all on the grade of the softness of it. So so you got mono on there. You've got you got a scalp fillet there. What's that section there where it's double drawn there? So that's there to hide the parting and more comfort.
Yeah, I mean this one. You know, we've got a lace front here with very, very, very
just
soft.
hold it up for me. Hold it up for me so we can see that. Yeah, and are those bands in there? Are they non-slip?
Oh, mate,
I'm really into.
My skin is sticking to it. So if somebody had alopecia, this is a really good grip.
Yeah.
And then if I was putting this on somebody for fashion, which I've done a lot of, I would put a wig cap on there first, so it didn't actually pull their own hair.
Yeah, that one looks lovely, and it hasn't got the lace front which you cut in, because one thing that I realized when wigs come out of the box, sometimes they have this little lace around the front which is really long, and what people didn't realize is, or I didn't realize, should I say, is that you had to cut that to the shape, and they feather the hair out so it becomes a slightly bit finer, like it naturally does on human heads. It naturally gets a bit finer towards the front. So that's why that's on there. Has that got a lace front which you would cut in yourself to shape?
Yes, mate. I mean, it's a very, very soft one. So, and it's only this big. So, you know, where before you can see there's the huge ones that have to be cut in. It's very, very soft. But with this exact wig, I've done this for somebody and I've cut a very solid fringe in before. So I haven't taken it off because there's no point. You know, there's no point. So because if you do that, then it would keep it in better integrity when wearing a fringe or bangs, to keep that in there, providing it's going to cover everything. So, so Dan, I think we're going to have to wrap this show up, mate.
No, I'm loving this, bro. I've been like listening to lives again and again and again and again and again and again, to the point where I was like, I don't want to do it anymore. But when you ring me up, you sparked something in me that's a passion of mine that I haven't spoke about since lockdown, and that, you know, I've got a couple of wigs in there and I'm doing them from here and I'm sending them out to my clients, and I found a way to adapt how I do my wig business. So I have a consultation online. I then take them through the PowerPoints, like a PowerPoint of selection of what they like. You know, I even get them to measure their heads, so they don't actually have to meet you. You can now consult somebody online and then send them the piece, guys. You can do it from your own room. Like, so you can go on, you can pull up a webinar, you can go onto Zoom, you can pull up your screen share, take them through the catalog, and you can do this in your own time. You know, you can charge a couple of quid for it if you want to, or not. Just do the consultation, go for the catalog, send them out one, send it directly to their address. So the shipping, send it straight to them. And then what happens is that, you know, you could perhaps send them 3, they try them, see which one sits better, they send the other 2 back. And that's what I love about this time. There are things that have come out of this time that would be life-changing and world-changing, the way we work. And we've got more confident with technology. We've got more confident with interacting and knowing it's normal to interact and you don't have to visually see someone. And this might actually help people that maybe people are listening to. Drop your hairdresser a DM and say, you know, like, I've got an issue with my hair. Would you mind me coming on camera and showing you, you know, and get that advice, get that help. And they can hook you up with a René Paris, or give Alex one. Or ring me, because I'll sell you one.
So we've just had a nice thing. Welcome to you both. This is from Anel, who is part of René Paris in the UK, saying, well done to you both. Very inspirational. I know.
Me and now have had a chat before. We're going to get onto that.
Nothing but very nice things to say about you, Dan, which is great.
Oh, thanks, man.
So,
thanks,
listen, mate, I'm going to get you some fair fashion sent. I want to see it on the TV.
You're going to see it on TV.
Get you some other things sent. I can't thank you enough for your time.
Well, thank you, mate.
Before I go back to the States and this lockdown eases a little bit, I'll come and see you via social distancing. You're an amazing hairdresser. You're a brilliant mate of mine. Thank you so much. All the best with the next show. And we'll hook you up with some great pieces. Thanks for being my guest and thanks for being my homeboy. Cheers.
Brother. Take care, man.
See you later, mate.
Bye, ciao.
Now.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye, guys. Love you. Bye-bye.